So by popular demand, I'm going to explain EMF broadcast to you to the best understanding that I have, and I understand it pretty well. As far as the schematic that you want to find in the government documents, you're not going to. It's not supposed to exist, but it does. Okay, so basically what you have is remote neural monitoring. Okay, and if you're on remote neural monitoring, you know how it is. Okay, and you may or may not be able to see the broadcast, and the broadcast can come in different forms. The broadcast, if it's coming to you, is coming from gang stalkers, people that are targeting you, and you are targeted with a broadcast. Okay, they may be following you around in real life, and it's happened to me before. They used to, but we had incidents, and it doesn't happen anymore. Most of the time you're targeted, and you don't even know you're targeted unless they're attacking you with broadcast, which is painful, and then you know. But a lot of people that are being targeted don't even know that they're being targeted. They're being targeted with broadcast. Okay, and this EMF broadcast and a lot of the terminologies I use, it's their terminologies. It's the terminologies from the gang stalkers. Okay, now I won't say that everybody's a gang stalker, but they call themselves EMF people, or they don't really call themselves gang stalkers, but there's different types of people that do this. Okay, there's people that get on mind control and they become weird orgy people, and they just have sex all day, every day, all the time, and they try to make money by targeting people and broadcasting it to people and finding good, interesting people to put on remote neural monitoring, and by selling their EMF porn. Okay, a lot of people don't get into all of that, but they subscribe to all of that. Okay, and they're paying the bills. They're paying these gang stalkers. The people that don't gang stalk people, if they just watch, you're just as guilty. You're just as guilty. So let me get into the whole EMF broadcast thing. Okay, you're on remote neural monitoring, and here's how you get on remote neural monitoring. Okay, say I'm not on remote neural monitoring, but somebody standing next to me is. They're on neural monitoring because they have possession of it. They're not on it remotely. Okay, so they decide that they're going to put me on neural monitoring, so they can scan me in by my location. Okay, and they may be able to use a broadcast from their neural monitoring to pinpoint that location. I'm not exactly sure. They may have to have your exact location, but that's how they do it. They can scan you in. Every person has a unique EMF signature frequency. Every person in the world has a different one. Just like every cell phone in the world has their own frequency, every person, every human has their own EMF signature. Okay, so EMF, that's the electromagnetic field of Earth. It's the existing infrastructure that's everywhere naturally. It's a naturally occurring magnetic field that is everywhere on Earth. Okay, so they don't need to use a cell phone tower or a radio tower, none of that. They got their own little system for this neural monitoring thing. So say this person puts me on neural monitoring. Okay, in one case they could put me on it remotely and they didn't tell me about it. Okay, and in that case they can connect to me as long as they put on this well, they can look on the neural monitoring and it would show my view. Okay, but it gets way more advanced than that. They have a device, okay, and I've witnessed it personally, and I'm certain that it exists, and I'm certain that this is the way they do it. It's called an EMF headset, or they call it a mind control. Okay, they put it on their head, and it's a nice, comfortable little thing. There's some wires that come down, that branches off and comes down to some little wristbands. They call that the stabilizers, and then the wires go down to a little box. Okay, they'll clip the box on a belt or something. Even when the girls are naked and they're involved with the mind control group sex thing, they'll still wear a little belt so they can clip the mind control on it. Okay, the little battery box or whatever. I don't know if it's a receiver or if it's a battery box. I don't know if you have to really have a coordinates put into it. I believe the way it works is you could just put it on, and it's like an amplifier to what's already coming to you. So if you connect to a person, then you can receive, just like the satellites, the satellite broadcast can receive you. Okay, it receives your EEG completely, everything, and it can know every feeling and sense that you have, your vision, your smell, your sight, all of it. It can decode all of that, and the satellite is the computer system that's in between the humans. Unless it's relayed to another supercomputer somewhere, I don't know. But what I do know is the satellite is the broadcasting device that receives and sends. Okay, and if there's another computer system involved somewhere, possibly, I don't know for sure, but somewhere along the way you are decoded. All right, and it sends back out to whoever's connected to you. Okay, so this person that put me on remote neuromonitoring and didn't tell me about it, they can connect to me. Now they can know every thought that I'm having. This mind control headset, it emits your thoughts into their mind. So basically, it's very, very, very accurate. You're not going to trick it at all. People are like, oh, you got to think this and think. They know exactly what you're thinking. They're laughing about it. They're like, this motherfucker thinks he can think this and trick us or something. You can't trick anybody. If you think about something horrible you did one time that embarrassed you, they're going to know it. If you think about a plan that you have to go in to your boyfriend's or girlfriend's cell phone and try to find out what's going on, they already know. If they're connected to you, they know what you're thinking. They don't know what you know, they just know what you think. So if you think it, then they know it. If you think, or if you walk into your house and type in your alarm code, they know it. They know your alarm code now. If you go to your safe and you open up the safe, they know the safe code. If you're in the bathroom taking a piss and you think about going to open your safe and try to remember the safe code, then they know your safe code. It works that well. Okay, they can see what you see. There's like an optional thing that they can have these eye covers connected to the headset. I don't know if the eye covers do anything to your eyes, but I don't think so. I think it just covers your eyes. It's just some eye covers that they wear, that I've seen them wear on occasion. So it's like a setting. You do or don't have to set it that way. You can set the eye covers, because if you're set to receive someone's vision, then you don't want to have your own vision at the same time, because that would be confusing, to have two visions at the same time. Maybe it wouldn't be that confusing, because I can be walking up the street or whatever and doing my life and having a vision in my head at the same time, and it doesn't confuse me. But I believe that's why they use the eye covers, okay? So they could connect to you, and basically they can live as you virtually, so they can like be you. Okay, I've been dancing before and saw one of the EMF holograms dancing unanimously like as I was dancing, like doing the exact same thing that I was doing. This girl Emma, her and 58, Marcus' older brother, were doing the same thing that day, and I could see both of their holograms in my backyard doing exactly what I was doing. And what they were doing is were connected to me, and they were feeling everything I could feel, and they were being mind controlled. Their broadcast was being mind controlled by me. So they were connected to me, but they had a broadcast, an EMF broadcast, hologram person of themselves that's what they were controlling, and that's when they were connected to me. They were letting me control them, basically. So their holograms was doing exactly what I was doing, movement and everything, and they were talking to me about this. You know, they were like, "Oh, yeah, they were talking to each other." I remember she was like, "Oh, did you feel that one?" Because I did some kind of new maneuver that I hadn't done before while I was dancing. I don't know if y'all know I'm into the whole liquid flow, like the Dragon House stuff, and you know, the robot stuff or whatever. And I'm not real good, but I'm pretty good. When I go out, I'm one of the best in a couple thousand people in the club. So you know, I have people come up to me all nonstop about it. So I'm pretty good, but I'm not ready to start putting out videos that much about that. So I've been getting better and better and better. I've been doing this for years. So anyway, that's one of the ways that the broadcast can work. Okay. All right, say this person that's sitting next to me, say just forget about me and my neuromonitoring. They have neuromonitoring. They want to broadcast a hologram. Okay, so they can broadcast this hologram broadcast of themselves and connect to it. Right? They're just laying there in a chair, but they're connected to a broadcast. So in their mind, they can see what the broadcast sees. So they can see from it. It's like they're living virtually as the broadcast. I had somebody ask me a little while ago if a paralyzed person could use neural monitoring to yes they could. A paralyzed person could use neural monitoring, and in their mind it would be like they were running around doing whatever the hell they wanted to, not paralyzed. Okay, if they could control it with their mind like that, and they could, I'm sure, because they would want to do that, so that's what they would do. Okay, so meanwhile, a broadcast is so creepy. All right, it could be a broadcast can be in your house, so you can have basically a broadcast standing next to you in your house, or chilling in your inside your house, walking around, seeing what's going on inside your house or anywhere else they want to go, and you may or may not see it. Okay, but it's creepy. Okay, this person laying somewhere else in some other house can be in your house virtually in their mind, and it's like it's for real for them. It's very real. Another thing I want to talk about in another video, but I'm gonna bring it up real quick. A lot of the Facebook games that don't seem to really do much, it's because they're mind control games. You go in the Facebook App Store and you find a lot of worthless games that don't really do much. It's because they're meant to be played with mind control and with neural monitoring. Facebook is the main stage for the congregation of neural monitoring people and gang stalkers and mind control people. They use the Facebook games, and they use a lot of the apps and stuff to convert into mind control stuff, or some of them are just meant to be mind control stuff. So anyway, all right, so with the broadcast now, say for instance this person that next to me that put me, there's not really a person next to me, but for example, this person next to me that put me on neural monitoring decided, I'm gonna put him on neural monitoring. I'm gonna give it to him, and we're gonna do stuff together. We're gonna broadcast together. Okay, so they give it to me. They give me a headset. All right, and we both put on the headset. So now we can connect to each other. All right, and in that case, you're gonna have the person with a stronger mind can most of the time mind control the other person. Okay, more stubborn people that just don't want to be told nothing and want to tell everybody what to do, they're going to be mind controlling people in this situation. A lot of times they want to connect to somebody that's smarter than them. If you connect to somebody that's smarter than you, then you're mind blown. You're mind blown, okay? But chances are that person that's smarter than you is going to be mind controlling you. Now, if you don't have the headset on, there's a vague sense of the same thing going on, really. Okay, the headset is just really a high-powered thing, like an amplifier, to really amp up the broadcast coming into your mind. All right, it emits this broadcast into your mind. When you receive somebody else's EEGs, it emits it into your mind. It's like an amplifier. So when they're connected to you, otherwise, like if you don't have the headset, you're just on remote. It's still like a form of mind control, but it's very easily to override. Okay, what basically happen is you can hear them, or you can kind of mind read them, but and you receive a lot of stuff, and you can start to decipher what you're receiving and whether or not that was your thought or theirs, because you're going to get some weird stuff sometimes, weirdos connected to you, and then it's not going to be yours, but it may be confusing because it seems like it's your thought because it came up in your head, but it's not really yours. When they talk to you through artificial telepathy, you tend to want to talk along with them word for word, because that's just kind of the urge that you get when you receive the broadcast. So it's the thing where you kind of got to break off and not talk word for word. They like to try to make you talk word for word with them. You'll see a lot of people, like the girl that put me on neural monitoring. One time, some kind of wild animal. One time, I was trying to convince her, and I was at her house. I was trying to convince her to give me the neural monitoring right when I started to know about it, and I kept seeing her doing like that, right? And basically, what it was one of these other gang stalkers was talking to her, and she was urged to talk along with them, because that's just the way it works. When artificial telepathy hits your mind, it's like a form of mind control. So, with the headset, though, back to that, with the headset on. A lot of people like to be mind controlled. That's what they like, okay? Especially if they're not that intelligent. They love to be mind controlled by someone smarter than them. Now, what ends up happening a lot of times is they become addicted. They're mind blown by your intelligence, and that's why a lot of targeted people are very smart people, and they like to target you because they don't want to give it to you, because they don't want to lose access to your mind, because they're mind blown and they love it and they're addicted to you like crack. Okay, so gang stalkers are addicts. What ends up happening in a lot of cases, say two people on headsets connect to each other, okay, a man and a woman, they're probably going to end up having sex, because I'm assuming that it's just pretty common, because most of these people that I deal with, and maybe they're just like that, and it's a coincidence, but all of these people that I'm dealing with, they become like orgy people, okay? And that's why these girls end up over here at Antoine's house having sex with 10 or more guys in a session, because they all get on mind control together, and they're just, everybody's thoughts are mixed up. It's like a hive thought process, and they all end up just having sex with each other, and they become orgy people, okay? To me, it's really nasty. You know, I don't want no other guy's stuff all over me or whatever. They don't seem to care. They don't seem to care. They're all just in this hive thought process, and you know, when they connect to me, it's just like I'm connected with this whole group of people, and I just feel I don't like certain people connected to me. So when they do that, when they connect to each other, it emits each other's thoughts into their mind. So say if a man and a woman have sex on mind control together, that's still a broadcast. They're sending and receiving a broadcast. It's not the hologram broadcast. What happens is you feel the other person, okay, at the same time as feeling yourself, and vice versa. They feel you and they feel their self at the same time. So you have unanimous orgasms at the same time, and you feel, if it feels good to the other person, you feel that, okay, and you feel yourself at the same time. So you know, I can see how it'd be overwhelming to the sensories. You know, I still just can't really get a grip on why they would just have sex with 10 or more people at a time, and it's just disgusting to me. But now the other way the broadcast can work is, say this person that put me on neural monitoring remotely went somewhere and else and connected to me, okay? Now they're connected to me, so say there's not a hologram broadcast. They didn't do that part. They didn't broadcast a hologram. Well, either way, in the right circumstances, you can see them where they are, okay? You can see the person that's connected to you where they are, because that's the way the broadcast works, okay? So you really need to create certain circumstances, and reflective surfaces are good for that, and using prisms and like dark glass, or like something like a iPad screen or something like that, with some prisms and certain kind of lighting, to be able to see that form of broadcast. Computer screens work well for that. When somebody's connected to you and you have the screen off, a lot of times you'll be able to look into that screen and see them where they are, just because of the waves coming to you. It's just how it works, okay? I'm not a physicist, and not some sort of electrical engineer, so I can't exactly tell you how that works, but I can tell you that for certain 100% it does work that way. And I've been able to look into a computer screen that was turned off, or just a blank screen on a phone or anything really, or even in glass, and see Emily or Marcus or several other of these gang stalkers where they are on the headset. And I've seen the headsets in real life too, and I've also seen them through broadcasts. So when somebody's connected to you in the right circumstances, and that's how people get EMF videos, when somebody's connected to them, then they can receive that broadcast. Now, as a broadcast, you can see broadcast. So if there's broadcasts all around you, stuff going on, you'll be able to see that if you are a broadcast, if you're living virtually as a broadcast. But if you're not, then you got to be I guess gifted to be able to see the broadcast very well. Now I've got videos where you can see different all kinds of weird stuff. I've got almost 1,000 videos, and a lot of them I didn't say a lot, but probably 50 or 100 of them have all kind of weird EMF broadcast stuff, and I'm the first one talking about it, and I'm the first one out here trying to expose it. For whatever reason, I can see broadcasts, and all of these gang stalkers that broadcast to me, they love it because I can see them. I'm like a human broadcast at the same time, so I can associate with a broadcast as a human. So it's been really great for their live stream because they're putting out something that nobody else has ever been able to put out for their EMF videos. So EMF video is a video that's from EMF, okay, meaning it would be my view, or it could be the view from a broadcast. It's a view without a camera. It's a view from EMF waves. These waves are reflective, so I've hit them with lasers before, and the laser grabs onto them. It'll kill it after, it'll deteriorate the broadcast after about a minute. But before that minute, you can literally drag a broadcast around, and if you hit it with a green laser, you can see the laser bounces around all in it, okay, and it kind of lights up the whole broadcast because the waves are reflective. So, you know, they don't broadcast the holograms around me very often anymore because I've gotten so big on the internet talking about this, and it's like the biggest secret. These broadcasts, these little broadcasts that they'll put on a person's body, they call them monitors or little people. It's the same deal, okay, but it can be 3D or it can lay flat on a surface or whatever, but they get on your body with these, and they call it a monitor, okay, and that's what they're using. They're connected to that on a mind control headset, and that's what they're using for the attacks, okay. It's not a direct energy weapon, and it's not a microwave gun. It's an EMF broadcast that they call a monitor. I swear this to be true. I swear it on my daughter. I swear to God on that. That's the truth, okay? I don't think there's probably not any cases with somebody actually using a direct energy weapon when they're a gang stalker. I just don't think so. 99% of the time, at least, it's probably going to be an EMF broadcast that they're controlling with the mind control headset on their head. Now, the last thing I'm going to tell you is there's a mind control, they call it a broadcast, okay? And basically, it looks like a salon hair dryer, and it's usually rigged up in a chair or something. And when they sit in that thing, under that broadcast thing, supposedly it's the same thing as like the headset, but it's higher powered, okay? And the waves that it emits or whatever, reading you and broadcasting you, it makes you fall into a sleep state. So they call it being catatonic. There's another one of their terms, okay? They call it being catatonic. Now, I didn't make all this stuff up. These people been spilling the beans to me for years, watching me see them and talking to me on telepathic. So, you know, if you're a gang stalker, you got a problem with me knowing everything, talk to Marcus and the rest of these clowns around here that can't seem to quit broadcasting to me, knowing they should have gave it to me a long time ago. But when they're on this broadcast machine thing, laying in this chair, it makes your body catatonic, is what they call it. So that's when they're really connected to the holograms, I think. But they can connect to the hologram from a mind control headset. But when they do the hologram thing, I think it's like a local broadcast, not really. It comes from the satellite, but as far as you connecting to it, I'm not sure exactly. But it seems like maybe there's a range on the holograms, and the mind control has less range than the broadcast thing that they use. So the broadcast thing makes your body catatonic, and, you know, sadly enough, the girls lay there and 10 people have sex with their body lined up one after another while they're laying there in a sleep state. And that's what they don't like people to know, and that's what they don't like people to see. So they hate it when I put out stuff where where even mind control people that have neuromonitoring can see in my photos, because when you're a broadcast, you can see broadcasts even in photos. So when they can see that kind of stuff in my photos, it makes all of these people look real bad, because a lot of these boys are like teenage boys in high school age. They're not in high school, they're just high school age. They're not adults. So it makes these girls look like pedophiles, and it makes them look really bad laying there. It's almost like they got 10 or more guys just raping their sleeping body while they're on these broadcast machines. But I'm sure there's more that I know of. I'm trying to cover everything, but that's pretty much the way that EMF broadcasting works. It works with neural monitoring. All of them are on the same neural monitoring. They just have access to it, which is on a website. Usually they hide it in the script of like an app, like a Facebook app, or they use like a virtual device to access it so they can log into the virtual device, host it online, so they don't have to do this on their real browser. So they'll go to the neural monitoring, and from there it has the settings for the broadcasts and the artificial telepathy, and who they connect with or whatever. So they like to put people on it remotely, okay? And basically it's mind rape and it's torture, and they don't care. They're addicted. So just like me, they're addicted to my mind. So I'm gonna keep exposing them, and I'm gonna keep working with coding now, and I'm just a beginner, so don't hit me with too much. But I learned how to use the A tag today to get to the next page. Whoopee! So I'm very much a novice. I can't really even get my Android Studio Gradle thing working right yet. So I'm working on all this stuff though, because it's the right pathway. I've been concerned about this broadcast stuff for so long, and how to get EMF videos, and I've and nobody else has gotten halfway as far as I have in the world ever that didn't have neural monitoring or didn't have access to it. I'm the first person to be out here talking about all of this stuff and to figure out how to try to do all of this as a targeted person. But all that said, it's really not the right ticket. The way to go is to try to gain access to neural monitoring, and I won't stop doing any of it. I'm going to expose this forever until I get it, and then even then probably. So I don't want people to be on remote and get tortured. I think gang stalking is a horrible thing, and I'm going to be the one to shut it down. So anyway, that's what's going on with EMF broadcasting. This is Kevin Christian. Y'all holler at me. I'm available to talk, whatever.